It's been so long. At least 72 hours. Welcome.
Checked up and good to go. Reporting for duty.
I missed all y'all, all 8,000 viewers. You are so unbelievably precious to me. How's everybody doing? So some improvements have been made. I have installed a pop filter, and I have remodulated the audio balance. So there, that sharp S sound that my God-provided voice naturally makes should be very suppressed now. All the other tones that make up the other 98% of my voice should be coming through fine. Stream looks good and everything. Plan today is Promies and Pies, kind of like last time. It's just how it lines up naturally with the event start time and the fact that I need money, and Pies are a straight shot to Moneytown. And I figured that it would give us enough time to talk about a few things now that I've got affiliate status.
Yeah, boy.
Yes, me lord, I can do that. All right.
Let's just hit all the buttons. So very exciting. Okay, we're gonna go out onto Winter's Waters so that I can be blessed by the NPC to artificially invoke my inner chef and make about 5 million pies. Or more accurately, about 300. Give or take. I've never been good at math. I'm gonna beeline around this Tarotaro. Fisher person. Beastmaster person. Paladin person.
Yeah.
So, I got Twitch affiliate status much faster than I think I should have had any right to. Granted, I've had an overwhelming, or comparatively speaking, the larger streamers, an overwhelming amount of support, considering that this was more or less a grassroots effort. And Twitch took wind of that, obviously, suggested to me that I become an affiliate. I agreed, since that was my core objective from the beginning. What with my constantly going on about follower metrics and things like that. And because they probably sensed that they could earn something from me, even tangentially. So I appreciate Twitch giving me the opportunity, even though I'm pretty sure it was determined by the algorithm. Nevertheless, it does mean a fair amount to me. If only because I eventually am going to make this my full-time role. Or keep at it until the heat death of the universe. Or until I can put myself into a real robot body. Which is definitely possible and for sure in the works. So what does it mean to you for me to be an affiliate? A couple of things. We'll start with the good stuff. So the good stuff is that I get my own channel points. Wowzers. I call them Stoic coins. You get it? So my name is Stoic. Hence the name. They redeem them for a few different things. I have not fully fleshed them out yet. I intend to over the coming days. The most notable thing to you is probably going to be either setting up a poll of some kind, like, you know, asking would pirates win over ninjas? Classics like that, Pepsi versus Coke. boxers versus boxer briefs, things like that. You can make me say something stoic, because I have literally never stopped thinking about the philosophy that I practice and apply to everything that I say, do, and think. So I always have one kind of like locked away that I'm applying in real time behind the scenes to whatever's happening. You can make me talk in my quote-unquote original voice for at least 5 minutes. Which, if you don't remember what that sounds like, please hold. I need to drop my human facade.
There we go. That's so much better. You wouldn't think it, but it takes a lot of work to synthesize a human-sounding voice. Kind of like F's with my machine tubes also. You wouldn't think it would, but it does. Let's revert.
Here we go. I should sound normal. So, in addition, I also get a smattering of subscriber-specific emotes. Ooh. let me, oh, I don't have one for that. The heck? Here, we'll just do this one. That's right, I said subscriber-specific emotes. A whole 5 static ones and a whole 1. Thank you, Twitch. I really want this huge bounty that you provided me of options for my paying friends to dive into. Better TTV is going to be it for a while. They want me to get more subscribers before they will allow me to the honor, the opportunity, and the opportunity to earn more slots, that is, like more static and animated emojis for y'all to enjoy if you're a subscriber. So those are the good things. Let me type in the link shell. Promyvion Dem in an hour or so. See Discord events for more details on what to bring. Smiley face. I'm already prepared. I have everything in the background. I just need to make like a million pies. So the negative things, let's talk about them before I get too crusty, like pie crusty. The unfortunate and unpredicted addition to my streaming regimen that I did not anticipate, and I'm surprised I did not catch ahead of time with all the research that I've done, was the introduction of forced ads. If you are watching or watching in the future, you're like, what ads, dog? It's because I spend a not small amount of time over the 40 to 48 hours that I acquired Twitch affiliate status to figuring out how to reduce the impact of forced ads on you as much as possible. Twitch gives you 2 options. They either allow you to just not mess with the ad system at all, in which case everyone that tries to watch gets pre-rolls, aka ads as soon as they come in. Ads are the antithesis to streaming because they actively break up the streaming experience, which is bad both for the viewer and for the streamer, and in particular smaller streamers. Smaller streamers have to pray to the powers that be, more or less, to be spotted or picked up. They can do everything in their power to throw their links out there and say, hey, it's me, Stoic, Hiya Papaya. I'm streaming live right now, or will be soon. You should come check me out if you haven't already. And then they come in and then they're like, I don't want to buy a car. I don't want to Like the Old Spice commercial is funny, but I'm not into it. It's not my preferred type of deodorant. And then they just leave before they ever see what the content was about or get, you know, a quote unquote vibe check, as the kids say in their street colloquialisms. So I've opted for the alternative. The alternative is I am the one that runs the ads. I am the one that knocks.jpg. So I am obligated, required, every hour to run a certain number of ads, 3 minutes specifically. I have some measure of control over when they happen. If I do not press the button to incite them, Twitch will take it upon themselves to do it anyway, regardless of what's happening. I can push them out a little bit. I can trigger them ahead of time in order to buy more time of me actually doing stuff. I cannot stop them completely. I have already set up my stream and my schedule and my headspace in such a way that you should never experience the first blast of ads from the stream start, like the starting soon screen, about 5 minutes after the starting stream starts. So like around like 10 minutes is left to go. The first blast of ads is already going to be over. I'm going to be watching the little notification I've got on the side here that tells me when ads are incoming, and I'm going to handle it so that when I need to trigger the ad, none of you are going to be impacted. I'm going to say something to the effect of, hey guys, I have to run ads in about 5-10 minutes. All I'm doing right now is just waiting for the group to gather together, or I'm just running from X place to Y place. Literally nothing is going to happen. Just take this opportunity to go get a drink or food or take a shit. You know, the world's your oyster and you're the pearl. And then I'll check back with you in 3 minutes. I flip to the be right back screen, press the button, ads run, people are affected as painlessly as possible. We all check back, and then we have ourselves essentially another hour of our social economic overlords bearing down on us. Do you like the ads? All right, ad stream. Let's go. I'm gonna press the button. No. I appreciate you appreciating the ads. So while I don't like ads, and I actually tried to find out if there was a way to have no ads at all, the ads do benefit me. If someone has it currently playing on their screen, whether muted or alt tabbed or whatever, if the algorithm determines that the ad is being watched in some capacity, aka present on some Google Chrome browser, then it counts it towards supporting me. So even though I financially benefit from it, I don't care. There is a way to circumvent having to deal with the ad experience at all, and that happens to be by subscribing, because a portion of subscriber dollars, as you can imagine, does go back to Twitch. And so they're like, okay, well, if you already paid us, then we don't have to run the ads, so we're going to give the streamer the option to not have them run for you, which I've obviously enabled. If you have Amazon Prime, yeah, exactly. If you subscribe, you don't get ads. Yeah, Poppy. It's like, you know, you gotta sit there and kind of take it, you know?
Meow.
Ew. Emotional damage.
You just gotta take it over and over. There's nothing you could do about it. You just gotta wait until it's over and Twitch is satisfied.
Yeah.
Amazon subs also work. if you happen to have an Amazon Prime sub, then you get a free subscription perk. You access it the same way that you would with a normal subscription to any other channel. And that you press the subscribe button, you go all the way down to the bottom, you press subscribe. It probably says something like subscribe with Prime Gaming. That's a one-off. It doesn't prompt you for any kind of recurring charge, because if you're anything like me, I don't like recurring charges happening possibly in the background. Anytime that I've ever subscribed to a channel that has not been gifted to me, I have, upon subscribing, I've immediately gone into the options and turned off recurring billing. Not because I don't want to, not because I don't intend to subscribe again once it ends up. I just don't like being prompted to not forget that something is happening in the background. That's not true, Matt. I'm sure that, you know, that all the times that you have with your girlfriend, you know, that they probably, she's probably borderline satisfied or satisfied adjacent. Which is good. That's good, man. Because life is hard enough. Life is hard enough without, you know, being like near okay. Somebody was talking to me before. Hey, girl, A. We love to see it. I am like effectively. Oh, that's why. I forgot to refresh my thing, dude. I was so busy yammering on about Twitch force choking me with ads and being like, you're gonna do it, you're gonna like it, you're gonna eat all these eggs. I don't want to eat the eggs. I'm pretty sure that was a meme or something.
War never changes.
How's everyone been? Everyone been okay? It's been a few days since the near-death experience that I had on my hardcore Iron Man character. Very surprised she didn't die. I do have the VOD up under videos on my channel if you want to look at it. It's like in the last 20 minutes or so. I don't necessarily know if it would even count as spoilers, but I had an extremely close call where I had to basically override my self-preservation instinct in order to save the party. That was difficult. I easily, like, and even that, I got critted like twice. If any combination of elements didn't happen the way that they actually did in the end, like, to my detriment, I definitely would be playing a new character on Fridays. Against my will.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
Let's see. And job level. Viz completion. Does it transport you after the final Promy to Lu phase? Lu phase? So that's this whole game is a good exercise in Stoic practice, but most of all, it's realizing that you are but one element in a chain of events and free thinking peoples that are also competing for the Leaping Lizzie boots. It's something that in Stoic philosophy is called co-fated, in which you can do your best to do things like survive, but whether or not if you get like seriously ill or something and you need an ambulance, you can do everything that you can up to that point to eat healthily and everything, but it may not be up to you whether or not the ambulance is called. It's the same thing with Leaping Lizzie boots. you might be the one that is lucky enough, unless you use shorthand illegally. You might be the lucky one to get it, but even then, you might get it like 10 times and it's not going to drop for you. If you treat it as a pre-acceptance practice, that you focus on the act of trying to grab Lizzie well, and to premeditate that you may not get it, not doomering yourself, but just accepting that that is a real possibility. If it does drop, then you have to remember that it is pixels on a screen, for one, so that it doesn't completely consume your brain if something happens to like your account, or heaven forbid you try to like drop something that's rare EX, but you accidentally toggled over the Leaping Lizzie boots and drop those instead. But that you appreciate the +3 dex and the +3 agility for the time that you have it, until, you know, if or when you stop playing Final Fantasy XI, which, you know, who would ever stop doing that, right? Or until you just like something else happens. You appreciate it more. You appreciate what you have for the time that you have it, and for the opportunity to improve your skill. All things that are within your control. I actually don't know what the setup will be in the end. We'll have to see who all shows. In any case, we have people that are for sure interested, that have a good array of jobs, so any combo should be fine. Definitely not to use shorthand. The reasoning being is that it's not, it's like it's exploiting. So it all has to do with your role, like in the game. Your role in the game is to try to follow the game's rules and the server's rules to the best of your ability. But if you try to use some other foreign element to try to force the circumstances to be the way that you want, you're kind of circumventing the point of the game. Which part of it is social. And you're risking banning yourself, which it's like that's more of like an educated risk sort of thing. It's up to you if like ultimately what price a person is willing to pay for XYZ thing in the game is a very reflective of what they're willing to pay in real life. If you're willing to use shorthand and risk being banned, I strongly recommend against it for various reasons. But if that's the price that you're willing to pay in order to get what's essentially like an external thing, that's fine. I mean, like, you'll get like Dex 3 AGI later. You know, you're not going to be wearing the Leaping Lizzie boots to 75, or maybe you would. I don't know. I could see the argument. Oh, shorthand, Matt, is an add-on that is meant to, and I might be like butchering the explanation a little bit. In short, it's meant to automate certain actions in the game or make them more easy. Its use is not banned, as of my last knowledge. It's not banned on Horizon. Using it to accomplish things that wouldn't normally be possible within the game's normal constraints is banned. So if you use it to, like, I guess just as an example, if you use it to do things like trade 100 cornets to an NPC in order to quickly get fame, it's not affecting other players, so that probably would be allowed. Basically, like, I guess, I don't know how the command works, but like slash, like, kuwawa right there, item trade, cornet. if you use it in a way that actively competes with another player, that is problematic. The whole game by its nature, except for like one extremely small niche part of it, is PvE. So any advantage that you're trying to force over another player is like antithetical to the spirit of the game. But then again, I'm just a guy on the internet. Correction, philosopher robot on the internet. All right, let's see what people are saying. Pretty much come, have a paladin yet. I can be there as a monk. I think. No, Reno may chime in, but if you're willing to go as white mage again, Kami may help tons. Thank you. Null. I'll let peeps know when we get closer if there are holes. Well, there's Poppy, there's a definite distinction between like trying to parse between what is and what isn't your control and completely excluding your relationship to those externals, like basically to satisfy yourself. Whether or not it's a simulation, that dude over there, Nanavel, is still a real person. My behavior still affects them, even indirectly. Like for example, if I'm looking for like a quick buck, which, you know, I'm obviously doing right now. It's not quick, but it is a buck. If I were to swap it out for bison steaks to absolutely saturate the market with them and then undercut what he's going to be selling, which is also bison steaks, to the point that the whole bison steak market crashes, I might be negatively impacting his experience and in so doing my own. If I'm doing something like, if I join a party, just as an example, and I'm like, I want everyone to eat soul sushi or a mount, just because it's a video game doesn't mean that my behavior isn't affecting people. Humans are by nature social and rational animals, so it's the human element that matters the most. There was a bison steak crash, yeah. There's a lot of Joker moments happening in the back alleys of the cooking industry in Final Fantasy XI, and that possibly, I don't know for sure, but possibly unlike other industries, so to speak, or economies that are going on in the background, there are a lot of cooks that are out there. So it's not unusual for someone to do the irrational thing of actually trying to sell an item in a blind auction like 20-30% lower than what the last thing sold for. And all it takes is one person to suss out what things are actually being sold at the lowest for the whole thing to come crashing down. That's what happened to bison steaks. Bison steaks were like 8,000, which is like a profit margin of like upwards of 50%. So a rational person would go in and they would be like, okay, I want to make sure that my stuff sells through so that I can then be in a position to sell more. I'm going to sell my steaks for $79.01. Because if a person pays 8,000, the way that the auction house works is that it looks at who is selling for the least amount, and then regardless of what the person pays, the person that is actually selling for the lowest amount is who gets that amount. It's confusing to hear and explain out loud. Once you mess with it enough, you'll get it. But so a rational person is like 7,900. An irrational person says, I don't know what rational people are selling for. I just need to get this shit out the door like yesterday. I'm going to ensure that my stuff sells first, and I'm just going to assume that people are not going to like figure it out, and they're going to keep buying it at its last known price, which granted happened for like a day. And what ended up happening was that my stuff was just not selling, and I was creeping it downward very carefully, making sure that I wasn't going to single-handedly destroy the market. And I just spot checked. I bought it at what I thought, or I tried to buy a stake at what I thought was a ridiculous price. and I got it. And I was like, what the fuck? These people are selling at like 30-40% under like what it should be. So it started this avalanche of like prices dropping rapidly, which for the broader population is great because it's extremely good attack food. But for like the crafters, it didn't have to be like that, man. We could have all made out if we had just like tried to reduce prices by like maybe 5% at most. People are like, nah, just fucking set it all the way to the bottom. And so early on for me, when I started putting a lot of my stuff out there onto the auction house, that kept happening. Eventually I started to learn what people go for most often and what sells through the most quickly, but at a stable price. Things like apple pie +1s, which I'm working on now, are pretty stable. I don't know if you need to be in like a particular headspace or like a certain personality archetype to like cook for the different categories, but like stuff that's in like the meat and eggs section are filled with people that are constantly like choosing violence the moment that they wake up. And then all the people in the sweets department are just like, you know, kind of like bro fisting on their way back and forth from the auction house. And don't even get me started on sushi prices, which sell at cost, sometimes even lower, because people are like, if my S don't sell right now, I just don't want anything to do with this insanely overpriced sushi. Just get me out of here. Which is its own, you know, blend, its own cornucopia of insanity, because it takes a lot of effort to get to the point, one, to cook sushi at all, or to make sushi at all, and two, to get the key item required to even do it. Like, unless you, yeah, there was a post not too long ago on the Horizon XI Discord, or Horizon 11. Let me just do that. I'm kind of borrowing from ancient times where I used to call the lion creature in Final Fantasy VII. I used to call him Red X3 or Red X. I forget how I said it. It was something like that. Like, just not even equating the Roman numerals. It's like a 2-decade holdover. And I get it. Oh, I'm out of skill improvement juice. Mr. Taro, I need my juice. Need my juice, mister. There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Jacked up and good to go.
Fishers also have to make their own money. Fishing is, if I had to recommend anything to new people that are looking to make money, once you're level 15, just focus on fishing. And like, as much as you can tolerate it. Some people, perfectly justifiably are not interested in fishing at all. They just don't want to do it. It's an easy minigame, but nobody wants to dedicate hours of their time. Well, no one, asterisk. Like, if there was a way to make it more inherently entertaining, I'm sure that it would be done. Maybe for some people it is inherently entertaining. Like, it's definitely a, like, having Twitch or YouTube on a second screen food type activity where you're just vibing. You're not thinking, you're just pressing the directional buttons in order to get money, basically. For the people that don't mind it, it is like an infinite source of revenue. You get learning how to fish is hard if you've never done it before, because you have a couple of things or a few things working against you. The knowledge base of what to fish and where is not present, from what I understand, anywhere in the game. It is all this whole game, it's all wiki based, but it takes a combination of whatever your fishing skill is currently, along with whatever fishing skill you're getting from your equipment, like the fisherman tunica set, and then add those together, and then 10 levels above that is the minimum that the game will allow you to fish whatever your target fish is. So if you are trying to go after gugru tuna, which I recommend if you're trying to like get money, is like a very safe thing to go after. It would be like, I don't know, just off the top of my head, because I can't do math. I think it's like 41 skill to get the fish. So you have to be 26. I want to use Easy Farm. Don't I have the rational agency to pursue my own self-interest? Well, the thing is that if you... It depends on how far you want to take it. Because if you are trying... It all has to do with like what you're hoping for and what you're afraid of. If you allow any part of the game to influence you one way or another, like you're hoping to get Leaping Lizzie boots, you're afraid of not getting Leaping Lizzie boots, you're assigning some portion of control over your mind to the game itself, which sounds nonsensical, but that's essentially what's happening. So if you try to download all of these programs in order to trigger a certain result, it's because you are dedicating some amount of your mental CPU power to caring about getting the result over just playing the game. It even to the extent that you're willing to get banned over it. If you decide that it's worth it to you to get banned on each game that is possibly hackable, that's a decision that you have to make. But it's very hard for a Stoic or otherwise for a person to be able to suss out their own judgments that are informing that decision. Man, you've been making me say Stoic things since the stream started, and you haven't even spent any channel points. You have a debt of like 1,200. That's fine. I like talking about it. Stoicism is not based on Buddhism. Two completely different parts of the world. There's a lot of like interplay there. And that I've personally drawn helpful bits from Buddhism in the past, but they are not otherwise related. Pie time. I still enjoy my soundboard.
Macaroni with the chicken strips.
So Stoicism came about 2,000 years ago, allegedly, reportedly, presumably in Greece, where a dude that was, I believe, the son of a tradesman, and therefore, given the normal course of events at the time, a tradesman themselves, crash landed went to like the ancient equivalent of a magazine stand, read some stuff or heard some stuff about the cynics. It was like, this is interesting. Tell me more about it. Where can I find? No, it was about like sorry, Socrates. It was about Socrates, not the cynics. Cynics were later. It was like, where can I find someone like that? And he started hanging out with people, hearing different philosophical ideas that were starting to you know, catch wind at the time, and started becoming more interested in kind of like amalgamating them together, for lack of a better way of saying it, and was like, hey, I'm gonna try to do this, therefore becoming like the first IRL streamer. I've seen other people do it. I'm gonna do it too. Went to a place called the Stoic. I might be butchering that. I am not Greek. And just started blabbing to literally anybody that would listen. And people started to hang out with him and listening to him on purpose. Can you believe it? And they, everybody was like, those weirdos are hanging out at the Stoic the whole time. Oh, we should just start calling them Stoics. And at first, you know, Zeno, which was the guy's name, Zeno's followers refer to them initially as, you know, Zenonis, something like that. And then they just, I guess they just kept getting called Stoics the whole time. And we're like, fine, we're Stoics. The Stoic means the painted porch. And essentially, that literally means that people were just calling them like the weirdos that hang out at the painted porch all the time. Zeno formed his own philosophy with some pretty wild ideas that definitely were a little bit weird then, certainly so now, and got kind of like hashed out later on as like the philosophy kind of like grew over time from the schoolmasters that practiced it. Almost out of skill up juice. I am out of skill up juice. Heads up, there's going to be an ad in 3 minutes. All I'm doing is just basically like making noise out of my mouth hole. But we're getting to a point now where it's like 15 minutes until go time for the Promyvion. So we're getting close anyway. So when the ad bit is over, such as it is, I will be en route to Juno or just to the auction house to sell my crap. And then it's basically just like collecting people together, making sure that everyone packed snacks to go to the Tim Burton Abyssal Hellscape that is Promyvion. Everyone's been pretty good about bringing all the stuff that they need. I'm going to give myself 25% of a pat on the back for that by making sure that they know ahead of time in the event description of what should be brought, depending on what kind of job you are. No, you wait. I'm not going to give you premature edification.
Oh, no, 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 no.
So after rigorous testing, it looks like my sound balance is good. If at any point the one or more types of sound, including my own voice, is too loud or too soft, let me know. I can adjust it in real time. Oh, am I done with pies? Let's go. Look at all that, dude. Look at that. Amazing. Almost 50-50 split. Congruent with the 50% high quality rate from being 51 or more skill levels above, including advanced synthesis. Let's go.
Ooh, you suck.
So it's interesting that you say that. Currently the socially accepted thing is, but I'm gonna, this is gonna be a really rough word coming out of my mouth. I'll think about it, the best way to respond after the ads. I'm gonna run them now. Be back in a few minutes. Stick around. Bye bye bye. Oh, really? It should be 3 minutes. I mean, I'm not going to complain. As long as the system thinks that it's been 3 minutes, that's all I care about. I'm just going to be selling pies anyway. That's weird. So on my testing computer, I'm still seeing an ad. That's bizarre. It's definitely being told to run 3. But we'll see after it's done telling me, because it says ad in progress, 1 minute, 20 seconds. Maybe it's like algorithm based. I don't know. Just in case, I'm not going to continue the conversation until we're live. Because F it, we'll do it live. I mean, if anybody misses anything, it's gonna be in the VODs that I automatically upload to Twitch and YouTube. So it wouldn't be the biggest deal in the world, but I need to make sure that I get this muscle memory set up earlier than later. Feel free to undercut me on the market. Like the Lord intended. It's not worth it to sell the pies on there. What is it, like 54? Alright, now let's see after it's done. It is still worth it to sell the pies, man. I could just vendor these out, that would be so much better. Okay. Okay, I mean, maybe it decides. I mean, we're officially back now, according to our Lord and Savior, Twitch Chan. And it's telling me right now, hey, you've got an hour before I'm gonna make you do it again. Sure. I'll take it. That's a maximum amount of time that you can basically buy for yourself. Anyway, so like open relationships, everyone's favorite topic. In Stoicism, relationships are indifferent, same as your body, same as like your health. Trying to take into consideration what your part in the relationship is and what you're looking to get out of it will help determine how you should probably react to it. there was a very famous Stoic called Cato the Younger. I'm not advocating you do this, by the way. I'm stating that there's a historical precedent for trying to override what are essentially covetous feelings. Where he essentially gave his wife away. It is presumed as a way of disassociating his feeling of ownership over her. That most Stoics would say that if the, like, whatever happens relationship wise, as long as you are performing your role as a good boyfriend or husband, and you understand what the limitations should, or what the limitations are expected to be from the other person, and the other person has agreed or like said to you, hey, this is what I'm looking to get out of the relationship, like the understanding is there of like what to expect. If you don't agree to it, or you feel as though the relationship is ultimately not healthy for you, you can step aside. It's of course infinitely more difficult than it sounds. Like, it's not that plain, that straight for you to just be like, you know, I'm out E500. This isn't what I wanted this isn't what I preferred out of the relationship. But that's ultimately what should happen if you're looking for a traditional monogamous relationship. I am in one of those. If my wife were to ever say, hey, I'm really into this dude in accounting, I would say, I'm just letting you know that I'm not looking for that kind of relationship. That would be a deal breaker for me. Oh, right. Storage I can't access from elsewhere. Time for me to zoom out then. Actually, instead of filling up my storage, I'm going to just sell the pies. They're not so important to me. I want to make sure that I have space elsewhere. I'll keep the +1s though, because I'm definitely going to be making more the next time that we do Pie Talk. Oh, for sure, you should. If you're being affected adversely, like what your view of the relationship is compared to her is obviously like fundamentally different. If it has not been brought up before, there is constructive benefit to you overriding your fear of talking to her about it to just talk to her about it. There is something valuable in the act of doing that, because and even though it's about an extremely uncomfortable subject, sometimes that's just what's handed to you. Like, life very rarely ever gives any of us the opportunity to adapt at what we would consider to be a reasonable pace. Sometimes it just throws shit at us that is like psychotic, strange, extreme, or what would be the common definitions of those things. Ooh, Makima made it. There is obviously inherent risk to talking to her about it, because if she didn't believe that it was appropriate for her to bring people over like that, she wouldn't do it. So she is either not cognizant of the way that you feel, or she knows but she's disregarding it, or she is in kind of like an in-between state, which means that she's imbalanced emotionally and both wants a monogamous and polyamorous relationship, which is in some ways worse. You cannot force her to want a monogamous relationship. You are the only one that can determine for yourself what sacrifice you're willing to make in order for like emotional stability. I've had to make those choices at least a couple to a few times when I was still like emotionally growing. And though I ultimately, looking back on it, handled them in what wasn't necessarily a healthy way, I did end up listening to the voice in the back of my head that it was probably my self-preservation instinct kind of like being like tapping me on the shoulder and going, hey, like you need to change. Otherwise, this is going to put you in an awful position later on. Where either you are consumed completely or the other person is, or a mixture of both. Not directly, Matt. There's a lot of people out there that are in chronic states of not knowing what they want. Also, Poppy, on the last thing you said, no comment. I don't know how to parse your saying that you don't want it to happen, and yet when you're not directly involved, you want it to happen. I cannot help you. What am I doing? I'm gearing up for Nin. But I want to sell my stuff first because I won't have enough room. Oh, awesome, Nicotine. Thank you so much for subbing. Woo! Woo!
That's what I'm talking about. Wow!
Very exciting.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
I appreciate you subbing. We're already 2 out of 5 subs. Let's go towards my arbitrary self-set goal. That's what I'm talking about. Amazing. I need to talk. I need to focus. Talking to the... I did not know that. You just need regen drinks if planning on a melee character. High potions if... No, he just needs to bring regen drinks, really. And Hystero, Psycho, Animas. Bonus points if a Tarot 2. You can buy them off auction house. Gonna sell these pies. They're 84. Okay, maybe it was worth it just to sell them here, because it's almost as much to sell them here. I want to keep the rest. Level 75, how do you make guild at that level without using third-party programs? Honestly, there's a few different ways. Like at that level, the stuff that you naturally get just from partying tends to be an okay amount of income. But to give you a real answer, like for the abhorrently expensive shit that some people may or may not expect you to get, there's 3 different recommendations. The first one is gardening. Seed proliferation is not always a guarantee under the miscellaneous section on the auction house, but 3 characters, you have a maple table, 10 pots, like any of the nation ones will do, like earthen pots, ceramic pots, things like that. Gearing up. Then we'll invite peeps. I'm reasonably sure we'll have enough people in general to get the party going, so I'll just get a telly there. Teleport them. Hello. So gardening, grain seeds, and dark crystals, and what that gives you. Hello, server. What that gives you after a weeks of checking them every day, like literally going into your gardening menu, hitting examine on each of the plants and doing that for a week, and then giving them a dark crystal when prompted. I don't want that out of sushi. Server is really struggling. I need... And what that gives you is coral fungus, tartara rice, and light crystals, all which sell consistently well on the auction house. And that gives you recurring revenue for like things like food or drinks or whatever. It's not a lot, but it's consistent. And you're basically paying, like, after you get everything set up. What's that? Oh, thank you, Poffy, for following. I appreciate that. You're basically trading like 12,000 gil to make back at least 25. So it does require a little bit of like upfront investment, but it's like it's almost free money, assuming that the seed stocks and stuff are there. But it's only happened to me once that they haven't been. Oh my god, ninjas have so much crap, dude, if you're trying to try hard. I can't hide from anything in there. Warp cudgel I want. X potions. Which are like dedicated oh shit buttons. All the animas. The other one is fishing, which I touched on a little bit before. If you get to level 26 and you get all the fisher gear and stuff, then you'll be at the exact level that you need to be in order to catch Guguru fish on the Mahora boat / Sylvina boat. And then if you fill your entire 21 slots with... Did I change this? I did. Fuck me. If you fill your entire 21 slots in the auction house, that's like a guaranteed at least 18,000 over the course of probably like an hour to an hour and a half. That's because Guguru tuna is used for so many things like skill ups, and namely the what is it? The jug pet for courier carry, which is like an insanely still be there soon. And they constantly sell through. Like I can guarantee you that by the time that you go and do something else like party or whatever, that by the time that you get back to a place where you can look at your auction house, probably 12 will have sold for 10 to 12,000. Okay, use current, and then I use this equip set to throw shurikens because they're very expensive, so I want to make sure that matters. And I have a macro that swaps out ranged accuracy gear when throwing. Okay, I believe I have everything, and then I will go to Ninja, Promy. Okay, I do want to... There's no antidotes, I don't need that. I do want to buy at least one Pomama drink, because it might matter. Alright, we're 50 to 60. That should be everything. Then I'm going to grab Signet. And so, Matt, I would say, like, fishing, honestly, over the course of, like... If you're doing it, if you're just sitting there and you're focusing on fishing, like you get on the boat every time, you're giving as much uptime as you can to fishing off the side, you're basically making at least 18k per hour. And what is essentially free money, you have to get a type of fishing rod that can support big fish without breaking. The most expensive one, but one that'll probably last you forever, is a composite fishing rod. And I don't have it on me, but sinking minnow is a good one that the Guguru fish wants. You'll get like about 50 to 60% of the time you'll catch a Guguru tuna with that. Other times it would be stuff that you're not really meant to catch, and so you might lose your bait, or in like absolute freak circumstances, you might break your rod accidentally. People are willing to pay, like later on, if you stick with fishing, which is kind of like a slog, to be honest with you. Because like, so normally with other types of crafts, you get a pretty high chance to skill up until level 60. After level 60, you have like a quarter of a chance to skill up on whatever craft that you're using. It seems like they apply that quarter skill up rate to you immediately, right from the right out of the gate, or at least like the actual floor is a lot lower. Like maybe it starts applying to you at like level 20 or level 15 for sure, because 20 I was still getting it. Joe, teleport them. Can I have it? Money, you can have this. Look at that, dude. Instant invites. Hello. I hope white mage teleporters are doing okay. But that's how I made a lot of my revenue, is gardening and fishing. And then once my cooking reached a certain level, I just basically went all in on cooking, and I just learned how to adapt to the auction house. But it's absolutely valid to just stick with fishing. It just wasn't my preferred thing. I basically did it as like in my own eyes, like a necessary evil. Sometimes other people do things like hunting notorious monsters for things like the monster signa. Other like the emperor hairpin, things like that. And if you have treasure hunter, you can get, it's basically like winning the lottery. Thank you. If you're ready to be invited, see all Reno because they know that he's probably ready. See all Kami because he's probably ready. Hello, friend, smiley face. See all big. Big Donnie. I can never remember which way I'm supposed to go. This way? See all Mac. Mac is not ready yet. Nope, wrong way. Hate to see it.
Mission complete.
No.
A hunter must hunt.
So we're just waiting for the others to respond. We have 2 more slots. With Makima, we're at 5, 6. Let's see, do we have a... Technically I can be the... No, not technically, I can be the tank. I just wish I got Dorado Sushi for that. Yeah, that'll do it. Gold. If you want gold smithing tips, Reno is the gold lord. Crafting in this game can be very brittle.
Help me.
Cooking has a very cheap overall cost to investment. It's mostly just time. I would say probably spent over the course of getting to like 95, maybe 400, 500,000, which seems like a lot, but this is over the course of like months, or at least a couple of months. Command T. It only gets abhorrently expensive at like 93 when your skill up item basically consists of using dragon meat to, as you can imagine, it's pretty rare. Or fresh marjoram, which is an extremely rare chocobo digging pickup, and runs at like 7,000 per one. And you're lucky to get a level with like 2-3 stacks of that. So you're talking about like 200, 300,000 gil per level. After 93, I pushed myself to 95, and then I realized there wasn't any recipes after that I couldn't just get the highest possible high quality skill chance by just, you know, getting advanced synthesis. So crafting is a hard sell, for sure, unless you're planning on going into cooking, and then you are doing so with a caveat, understanding that you're competing with many other people who think of the same thing. If you're able to overcome some of the most painful levels and willing to sacrifice possibly millions to get to higher smithing, or especially goldsmithing, in which case you're talking about like over probably like a dozen million gil to get to the higher levels. Once you're up there, there's very little competition, comparatively speaking. With cooking, you can still make a huge amount. It's just you need to be mindful of how the market's behaving, like checking to see if there's like a total lack of like meat chief kebabs or something that you can possibly grab the ingredients for semi quickly. It looks like Mac black screen. We're 5-6 right now. Anyone else needing Promyvion Dem? It's giving a moment for someone to respond to my general call for another individual join. You only have that is perfectly fine. You grab Stero, Psycho, Anima. You're basically set. This one is a DPS check anyway. I will invite Mr. Black Bolt. Never mind, on the invite, you probably will need a telly. It occurred to me now. So we're making very good time. Ideally, we would be like ready to go like at 8, but I was part of the problem, so I have only myself to blame. That, and sometimes this stuff just takes longer to prepare for than you would expect. Whoa! I would really like Ninja more if their shurikens weren't so prohibitively expensive. Their DPS almost exceeds a lot of DD jobs, even sometimes when tanking. If they have shurikens, and shurikens being exclusive to them means that way back when, in the before times, Square Enix designed the job in some way around the use of shurikens. And this is also evidenced in the fact that they get a merit that lets them throwing ranged items by trading the Yutsusemi Ichi shadows that they can put on themselves for an equivalent number of shuriken. That, and if you're trying to try hard ninja on here, which I would argue I'm trying to, and you want to get all the ninja spells, you need consumable tools for the whole thing. Every ninja spell needs its own tool. Invited, but it may not. All black. Cool. Let me know when you're here, black. So I'm gonna be, when the boss fight actually happens, when we've done the full climb and no one's died and everyone's feeling good, I'm gonna be using Juji Shuriken, which does an insane amount of damage. 41, which is equivalent to me hitting for full probably 3 times in the span of like 2 seconds. And doing that every 3 seconds, along with like the animation cooldown. And like, even though it's more of like a meme to me to keep your throwing skill up, because so few other jobs other than ninja actually capitalize on throwing weapons, and they have a whole set of ninja exclusive weapons or exclusive throwing weapons. I mean, it's still fun. It's still fun to constantly chunk stuff, and you are building it into your hate management routine when you are actively trying to tank or off tank. Sadly, too low level. One day I'll get up there. The next streams that we're going to be doing on Mondays after this, I might not keep the COP progression up. I may be doing rank up missions instead. Or we might do traditional parties so that you can at least see how I behave in like traditional parties with ninja. Oh yeah, Poppy, for sure. Thank you for being here. And all that stuff that I had said before in response to your philosophy related questions, I should note, I am not a licensed or certified counselor. It is possible to be certified as a philosophical counselor. I have not taken these steps to accomplish that, but I have, through people saying it themselves, helped people through difficult times using it. Because I'm just telling them how to apply the stuff they have applied themselves. Let's see. Everyone is here. Psych. I do be going in. I don't think that there's a cutscene for this one. There's definitely going to be a cutscene afterward. The first few levels, if you're not familiar with what a Promyvion is that it's basically like a gauntlet to climb 4 floors in order to reach the boss room. After you kill the boss, you clear whatever step of the Chains of Promethea expansion you're on, and then you continue from there. But the first 3 levels are pretty easy. The last one is basically like a death run. But you'll see that for yourself soon. Big true. If you're not familiar with Promies, I will give updates on what to expect when time comes. I enjoy everything about Promyvion. I enjoy the aesthetics, I enjoy the music. I can actually play the music. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Here, let me do that. Music controls. Music off. Okay, that's working properly. And then once I'm in game, I will turn on the in-game music. I prefer the original music. All the music in Horizon XI, with the exception of a few tracks, have been completely redone. The redone track for Promyvion is not my favorite. I feel like it's a little bit too jazzy, but that might do it for some people. It's good. Like, don't get me wrong, it's definitely good. It's just not my preference over the original. Come, Stoic, why do you struggle? Face the darkness. Face your inner self.
It's time to stop.
You want a piece of me, boy?
Ah, moshi moshi, motherfucker.
Alright. Check the audio. Okay, let me know if that's too loud. All the testing I've done, it shouldn't be, but just let me know. You're not going to be hurting my feelings or bothering me in any way. This first floor is always a cakewalk because unless, yeah, first floor is always a cakewalk. I'm just going to leave it at that. Mobs are stupid, easy. I have the map unlocked, so just follow me. Okay. First floor is always just like a dead shot. Ultimate one, this way. I turn away from the microphone and breathe. The music is very good. It's just not as oppressive. This also lets me hear the fight music, which I don't often let myself hear. Mob size super fast. They're like 3 levels below you. Some of them have like moves that are going to be annoying regardless of what level you are. But for the most part, they're okay. I'll turn down the music just a little bit. Unless I get requests to turn it back up. To like, pump the jams. I don't know why I thought it was dead. Love to see it. Like, look at this place. Isn't it like this weird, beautiful environ? Way back when, many eons ago, I would intentionally leave the Promyvion. I would stay in the Promyvion area on purpose, and I would fall asleep to the soundtrack. I don't believe at the time I had my own computer, so I basically like had to turn all the sound down. I was playing on the PS2 when this came out for the PS2. And I would fall asleep to Promyvion music. And it was like seriously relaxing. We'll kill the strays, but hold on attacking orb until we're all in front of the pillars. I have a dagger that the fence downs. I'm a late gamer. My evasion is unnaturally high, so these don't really, I say as I get effing crit.
So here's this giant enemy crab.
That's a huge bitch!
Melees, position yourselves with back to a pillar. Look at that, everyone knows what their job is. It's like clockwork.
First blood.
All right. Going, attack. I think I don't like about being in front. You'll see. Okay, it's gonna knock us back. That's why everyone needs to be at the pillar. I apparently was off by a little bit. But the consequence of that is that your camera goes effing crazy if you're like directly behind. So at one point I sat myself down and looked at the lore of all this stuff. From the extremely limited amount that I understand. And this might not even count as spoilers because I could be entirely incorrect. Get on portal, go, go, go. They are basically like former souls that they can't, like, they're in limbo and they can't go anywhere, but like they still, whatever their strongest emotion was in their final moments affects the form that they take in this world. Mobs are slightly harder, but still dead easy here. Alright, so we're just gonna go east because that's the closest one to us in proximity. Waiting for MP. Like, if you kill enough of these monsters, they all drop things called recollections. Recollections of guilt, recollections of pain, and that differs slightly depending on what Promyvion you're in and what monsters you're attacking. And you take those recollections and you shove them into a mad scientist in Juno to turn them into animas, which are like anti-boss weapons. And you'll see us using those when the time comes. That should be east. That's right. Well, let's do it.
Identify target!
We're still gonna try to avoid monsters that we can. Just gonna kill this one because we're probably gonna aggro it anyway. So I could Poppy, I definitely understand your comment. There is some rationale for them not being on drugs, and that this is the, probably not literally, but this is like one of the first major Japanese MMOs, period. So they were just kind of like super rolling with it. Their approach was very experimental. I mean, before it was exported to the rest of the world, the Japanese had a good year with it to make like improvements and add content. But all the content is basically like this. I do enjoy it over Final Fantasy XIV's story, though. I put about 1,000 hours into Final Fantasy XIV. I can tell you maybe 5 or 6 story elements from it. Probably one that I'm not intended to remember so vividly. Oh, somebody aggro something. It looks like there's no orb over there anyway. And that's not just... Final Fantasy XIV is very good. It just... The story just did not do it for me, except when the story got kind of political. I've always enjoyed that aspect of games. I don't think there's an orb over here. It should have appeared for me by now. There are strays there. Is there an orb? No. Orb. Map. North? All games can be hedonist games. You could even call Dark Souls a hedonist game. Like if you're into getting your shit pushed in every 2-3 minutes, there's a lot of parallels between this one and Dark Souls. I'm not gonna pull that. Nope. Nope. West. So either someone was very recently through here, or they're just not responding for some reason. I did almost get back into Final Fantasy XIV when my college friends got into it super hard, or re-got into it. Just watching that Weeper on the side. Yep, there it goes. And at that point, when they re-got into it, it was almost like 6 months since the last time I played, and I got up there, all the way to what was at the time like the top level cap and everything. I was a paladin, and I took one look at everything that I would have to relearn, and my brain just like in a push towards self-preservation just was like, nah, you shouldn't. And when I feel that way, I listen. So to be real with you, I paid the sub. I think I paid the sub. I don't think there was like a welcome back campaign or anything. Logged in, looked at it, at everything, became cognizant of everything I'd have to relearn, and was like, pass. I can't do it. I can't. It's so much muscle memory lost to be regained. And I noped out. I don't often, depending on your definition, I don't often literally waste money like that. I've only done it like a few times. If you don't count my huge stint with a game called Fox Nora, but that was before I picked up on any of the stoicism stuff. You have another one. Not your fault, I know. Yeah, Final Fantasy 14 is definitely a theme park. It shouldn't be what I'm about to say shouldn't be the ultimate takeaway memory. But all I remember is during the height of the early like vanilla story, when shit has proceeded to go down. The world is pre-ending. Effectively, gods are walking the earth and mass mind controlling whole populations. And there was a string of 3 missions that I vividly remember being asked to prepare an effing beach buffet.
Catch me outside, how about that?
They were like, we need you to go get like these ingredients for this beach buffet that's going to be happening. And I was like, is this like, that felt like a filler episode. That took me out of the story pretty much completely, where admittedly I was pretty like into it. Sadly, I don't remember off the top of my head, but we'll def check pre-boss fight. They're asking about skill chains. I did actually play 1.0. I vaguely remember it being me being excited about what I thought at the time was basically Final Fantasy XI 2.0. Kind of with a veil over my eyes. I was expecting it to, I was making myself feel that it was better than it actually was. The only thing that really turned me off was that there was no auction house at the time, intentionally on purpose, according to the people that originally developed it, where they were like, we feel as though this is supposed to be a social game. You need to go to people that have set up like shop stalls and stuff in order to buy from them, which is fine. Like the premise of people running like player-owned shops and you having to go to said shops in order to buy your wares from real people instead of like effectively like a middleman NPC is like great, but the way that they facilitated that is forever burned into my brain. The limitations, like the Final Fantasy XI limitations of only being able to see certain numbers of models on screen at once, was still there. So you would go into what was supposed to be the armor crafter district and see maybe like 20-30 shops loaded at a time out of maybe like 200. Of those shops, there was no way to search for who had what. So if you wanted something specific to you, you needed to randomly check each MF going all 21. You needed to check each MF to see if they happen to have what you wanted out of like the 10-15 shop slots that they could dedicate to whatever they were selling, which may or may not just be garbage. And so like, and there was no requirement from what I remember. Nope, rip, no portal. South it is. And there was no obligation to sell whatever was the themed floor. Like, just because you were in armor crafting doesn't mean that you had to sell only armor. So not only did you have to contend with the fact that people may not be selling armor that you needed, that they might also be selling what basically amounted to like rocks and sticks that you could find on the ground. Like later they relented and allowed you to search for an item and it would tell you, please be here. No, that's the portal back. It would allow you to search for the item, and it would tell you who had that item to sell, and what like floor or department they were in. It would not tell you where they were in relation to you, so you still had to. You entered the lobby, and you would wait for 20 miles to load. See if you were lucky, the person wasn't like it. When the person was there, you would move 5 feet, wait for 20 miles to load, see if the person named it was there. So like, as you can imagine, it was totally possible to have the person be the 21st model to load. So he could have been at the entrance, my guy. But you didn't see him because he didn't load.
You're ugly. You're disgusting. I'm going to kill you. Give me $200.
Someone's definitely gonna. Yep. Back. 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 Range attack. I mean, at least with RuneScape, everybody's models loaded, right? I don't think there was a cap on how many that you could see, or at least if there was, I remember it being a huge area. I played OG RuneScape, but I also played like after I think it was like before RuneScape 2, or what was it? This sucks. This path that we're on. Can we go around? Let's go east. So is it much better, Lamau? So what it is? No. Alright, I'm just gonna pre-book this guy. Had an entire business buying and selling with employees on RuneScape. Only work because there's no auction house. Yeah, for sure. I definitely see the social element of it. I think that probably I don't know how they would have done it. Eventually they relented and allowed a auction house to be a thing. Like an actual full-on auction house, which is what people know today. I think that if you were able to see everyone, like full stop, within like a 50-meter radius of you, and like there would be like no limitations on like the amount of models that can load within a radius that's entirely radius based, I think it would have been better. I think people would have been able to tolerate it more, and then it would have been like a more RuneScape experience. But there was a pretty severe cap on the number of people that could be loaded in, and that definitely kind of defeated the purpose. Right. We have a couple of minutes before the next round of ads load, or are prompted by me. And if I don't do it, then Twitch is going to decide for me to do it. There should be enough time. Clear here, and I can always snooze it. I can always push it out a little bit. I mean, I'm basically just killing the orb, but it could be like a gamer moment if we'll just run ads now. I'm gonna run the ads because by the time that we're cleared all these, it's gonna be over. See you in a sec. Let's do it. All right, you may or may not be back. It's still telling me that there's allegedly 1 minute and 30 seconds more ads happening. All we did was kill the orb. We got lucky. We got the portal. And we back. Hell yeah, brother.
Oh my god!
That's what I'm talking about. Wow!
Hey, that's pretty good.
I wonder if Twitch knows that I'm telling it it can run a few minutes of ads and it's only doing 1 minute 30. If I'm successfully tricking it through whatever combination of ones and zeros to only run 1 minute 30 of ads, I will definitely take that. Oh, good. I'm glad. I keep getting the car one on my testing computer. I don't want to look at cars. I already have a car. Cars are stupid. That's not true. Cars are pog. What floor are we on? We're on level 3. Sure, if we get caught, you can't do that. That hell, do you have a re-raise item? If he doesn't have a re-raise, okay, so I'm gonna give him one. So Makama is suggesting that he will flee. Don't you need flee? Don't you need thief 25 or flee? I think you need 25. It's okay. You're pretty. Okay, so he cannot run because he is a Dark Knight. And the only thing that Dark Knights run towards is losing HP of their own volition. Let me check what this is. Man, these poison procs are sick. Or the weakness defense downs.
Not.
That's fucking teamwork!
I'm blinded and silenced. I hate that for me. Someone is definitely going to get that. Yep. So I don't know why. I'm telling my Stream Deck that it can. I'm trying to run ads for my Stream Deck and it's just not going. It wasn't doing it. I have to actually go to the window to my backup and tell it, like, do the thing. 3 seconds Vogue. I want to get that to work because it's not. I mean, like, how high octane is Final Fantasy XI in terms of like actions per minute? Not very. But I still want to be able to control it with my left hand.
My potions are too strong for you, traveler.
Okay. We're just gonna skirt. Alright, here. And I guess go left, dude. Stage left. Just gonna kill this guy. It's not worth avoiding it. Very good. Guess what we're killing. This is apparently an NM. I just saw red, and I went for it. We should still be able to kill it. I'm pumping a little. There we go. See? And then I'm going to show a disrespect by berserking. It's not... Its accuracy isn't huge. I'm glad that I absorbed that. Could have been bad. I do have oh shit buttons if it gets bad enough. Poke off him. 5 seconds Vogue. Hate that for me. Good timing. Add on load timers. They did not tell you. Why is it doing that? Keep timers loaded, please. Criminy Christmas. I'm gonna take off Berserk because it's hitting me really hard. Should have left the hate on the tiger. Should not have evoked that. I do have itchy though. In like 2 seconds, thank God. I'm gonna chuck another X potion. Thank God I brought a bunch of these. We're gonna let the tiger keep the hate for a bit. He can kill. We've already got it down. We just need people to rest. Tiger is taking the hate, which I appreciate. I'm gonna hold on to TP until we get to 25. Because killing it after 25 matters the most, because then it's able to use its special moves more often. Going to refresh. Itchy. Nope, paralyzed. Spooky. Spooky time. Okay, we got it. Black Bolt has something I can chain with. I don't remember offhand. I have 1 shadow left. Good. Monk has some limited tanking capabilities, if only with their HP. That's a good idea. I'm also going to eat sushi. Luckily I brought more than one. I'm going to assume it's going to swing and miss. Okay, we got the shadows off. We're in a good position. We're actually doing pretty good damage to this thing. I'm hoping that he has something that he can combo with. He doesn't. Normally I reserve skill chain calculation until like the actual main fight itself. Timers are unloaded. A few O ship buttons. Okay, good. Oh boy. Thank you, Matt, for following. It does make a huge difference. It might not seem like a lot. But even following, even though it's like a free action, people like watching people, or people, yeah, people do like watching people. People like watching stuff that other people watch. So just the number of follows can be a small factor in whether or not someone is actively watching. Like it's in their value judgment. So far we're doing good. If I have to use both of my hype X potions, I'm gonna do it. It's fine. We should kill it. Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Well, excuse me.
My potions are too strong for
Nice.
you, traveler.
Just an exercise to wake ya up. Hee hee.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Let's rest a minute. Good thing I way overspent on meds. That was... Oh, really? Which thing? The remnant? Yep, go ahead. I'm not planning on... So apparently we got the item that lets you get a chance of getting the Stone Gorget, which gives you a huge boost to Stone Skin spells for a long time. So I do not need... I don't know if you can sell it. Can you sell it? No, it's rare EX. Damn, Reno. Alright. Buddy. Reno just ultra rolled for that. Alright, I'm just gonna pass because I do not need it. I don't know what the barrel Nemesis is for. I mean, if he's like ignoring you because like his like social circumstances have changed, I don't know if he should really qualify as a friend. Like in the philosophy, it's not unusual after you have enough practice with it to kind of suss out that there are a number of people that if you toss something in between them that both want, they will turn on each other unless they have certain values. So basically, if they're not talking to you because they've, you know, restructured how they view their self-assessed fame, I would just get new friends. It's just not worth the time. Just ain't worth it. Get back here. And for, you know, Taru. Clutch Kuraga. Fairy Pog. Add on load timers. Add on reload timers. All I want is that one all the way on left. I don't even know if it has an orb in it. Oh. Thankfully, these don't mutually aggro. The 2 Weepers will, 2 Wanderers will, but maybe I'm missing if some other types have some kind of interaction like that.
Amogus.
Come on. Just go ahead and die. It's your time. I so hate that they're walking in unison like that.
What the hell? Oh my god, no way. Whoa.
We're gonna pull both. Maybe. Okay, maybe not. Okay, I'm just gonna go. Try to squeeze. We might get this either instead. It's watching to make sure my babies are okay. My ducklings are okay. They're coming in piecemeal, which is not my favorite, but that's okay. Please tell me there's an orb here. Orb, let's go. Premature grabbing of the strays, that's alright. Strays don't hurt very much. They're very weak, even on the 3rd level. Just mixing hate, making sure I have enough hate on all of them, that they're focusing on me. I have very high evasion and agility too, but so they should focus on me and miss a lot. The only thing I don't like is that as you get higher up in the food chain of Promyvion, progressively more strays appear near the orbs. I'm sure there's a lore reason for that. I do not like it.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Don't mind what my avatar did just then. It's perfectly normal and part of the Matrix. Operating peak efficiency. Man. I do want the vibes back though. We've had enough of the music, I think. The in-game music, or at least I have. If people collectively come together, form a democracy, and ask me to turn it back on, I will. But I need my jams back. This song is very applicable for this zone, though. Just gotta make sure that we don't stray too far from the path. Gotta keep our game plan straight. I'm trying to think of other stray puns, but I'm missing out. My pun processing unit CPU is not functioning properly. All 21. Weakness down on the orb. Right off. Let's go. I do actually have a... Look at that. Let's go. Exciting. That was very lucky. That was very lucky, actually. Portal me. Please. Portal me. What is it doing? Thank you. Goodness.
Wow. Bingo!
Okay. Mobs are serious on this level to the point of not even wanting to mess with them. The zone is a straight shot southwest. If we get caught, do not help whoever has aggro, just focus on running. Big will try to get tension on his pet. If that fails, I will try to run ahead and get aggro for people. I will die outside the zone and let mobs despawn. This is not my first rodeo, as you can probably tell. I'm going to eat a high re-raiser on the assumption that I'm going to die. I'm activating intense VG PPM mode. Alrighty. Ready? We'll try to avoid mobs as long as we can. Okay, time to die. Let's go. Last time we did not die on the run. Nobody died on the run. Hopefully this is going to be a repeat, but that is definitely unusual. I believe that portal thing on the right is supposed to be for like getting the map legitimately. Thankfully all maps is we'll have to sick the tiger. We're not gonna be able to get past those, and I'm not gonna wait until they're actually gone. On the Weeper. Go. Right, west. Here we go.
What the hell? Oh my God, no way, yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. Nani? You what? Surprise, motherfucker.
Fine, I guess you are my little pod champ.
We're doing it. We're doing it, Peter. He's really believing. Ooh, skirt. We have to have at least half the zone on us. Exaggerating a little bit, but by how much? Do not help the people. Oh, Makama got caught by something. I don't know what. I cannot go back to help him. He has to die. Die as close to an edge as you can if you need mech. I'm gonna try to die on the other side. Zone. Okay, I think Makama did die, but he died crossing over. I have res. Okay, we're gonna wait for all these guys to disappear. We did it! Let's go!
Meow. Meow.
Oh my god! Inhuman reactions!
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. All I need to do is just squeak in here without dying. Yeah, boy!
Slow down, I'm gonna spurt. Sorry.
Wow! Congratulations!
Alright, calm down on the insanely MLG music, please. General low fight is. Give it up, everybody. We survived. This is a good time to get food or drinks bio unless you shat your pants already, Lamel. Didn't mean to stop resting. Okay. So we are going to look up a few things. We're gonna look to see if there's any gimmicks here. Nope. Don't want to find an emoji. I don't know what that was. Mother crystals. Other crystals. We're gonna see if there's any mechanics that we need to be apprised of. Spawn's AoE, Spawn's offspring. It basically makes kids. Nothing like really ends with frostbite. Play techie does. We'll choose that one. Okay. Let's see. Explain. He played techie. Stoic. Frostbite. Mac. Ice. MB. And that's what we'll roll with. Focusing on one SC is going to be difficult enough. There's already going to be a lot going on. Boss is fairly straightforward. It just has a one AoE paralyze gimmick to move and a mob spawn gimmick. Wait, one. I will try to main tank it. If things look bad, wait, one. Use a tarot anima on it, but try to hold off. Wait, one. If possible, if able. Anima order, use one of each. 90%. Let's just do big. So big. 70% Mac. 50% Lack. 25% Stoic. Alright. Black, Mac, black, and big use. This is whenever, just try to avoid if you see we both have 1k TP. Coffee, I actually don't know how to answer that. Piano, maybe? I don't know if it's ever been recorded if, like, Socism has, like, a name brand instrument. Boss, explain. Boss is fairly straightforward. It just has an AoE paralyze move and a mob spawn gimmick. I will try to main tank it. If things look bad, use a tarot anima on it, but try to hold off a Fable, anima order, and then I basically give, like, what percentage of life the boss is recommended to be at before, you know, before, like, you use the anti-boss items. We will buff once inside. Erase, food, protect, etc. The least Stoic might probably be drums. I don't know why I feel that way necessarily. Hello? Can I not? I want to hide my web browser. There we go. Probably because it's the most violent. I mean, your mileage may vary if you actually feel that way. All good, bolt, black. You can use whatever anima you have. You can use all animas back to back. All the types work simultaneously. Psycho, if I recall correctly, stops basic attacks 30 seconds. Hystero, he moves 30 seconds. Tarot effectively stops them from doing anything but makes them run around annoyingly, which is good for buying time. Okay. Yep. Arrow should be avoided unless it's an emergency. or gone through the whole range, in which case yep, the mobs he spawns are bindable and sleepable, but he himself is not. But it is not. This thing makes babies, so maybe it's female, but it is not. I'm going to go inhale a peanut butter jelly sandwich, and then I'm ready. I have not eaten for like 5 hours. Okay, we're gonna run a little experiment. I'm gonna run ads to see if it buys me any time or any extra time. I want to make sure there's no interruptions at all, but my stomach is literally about to consume me if I don't eat something. All right, I will be right back, guys. Thank you for your patience. Gonna run ads, flip it to be right back mode. All right, back to our regularly scheduled programming. I don't know what an elderberry is, but I'm glad that they turned it into jam. I took a risk buying elderberry jam off the shelf, and it did pay off. All right, so everyone is here. Ad starts in an hour and 20 minutes? That can't be right. I thought I could only buy myself an hour's worth of time learning new stuff in real time. So I'm gonna move Makima up to where I am, because once I start Blade Techie, once we get both TP 1000, I'm gonna open, he's gonna close, and it should do a stupid amount of damage, which Reno should be able to capitalize on by doing Blizzard. Once Mac is back, we should be good to go. While we're waiting, I'm sure that you're going to enjoy my funny soundboard.
Meow.
Did that do it for you? What about this?
Meow.
Fine, I guess you are my little pod champ.
How about some more? You like that?
Ooh woo.
You like that, you slut?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. How about this?
Ara.
Yeah, how about some of this?
Oni-chan, Oni-chan.
I can do that. Yes, me lord.
Sugoi.
This thing was not cheap. It wasn't expensive for what it can do, but I appreciate it so much.
Give me something to shoot. Jacked up and good to go.
Ami is phasing through the stairs, whatever the block of thing is, railing, pseudo railing. This has gone incredibly well. Although I died, it wasn't a huge loss. I was able to recover myself. I've done this run enough times to know what to expect. I've never made it past the 3 paths mission in Chains of Promythia. I've literally never seen Sky. I've literally never seen Sea, but I am arguably well versed in everything in between, except for like hyper notorious monsters and shit like that. I never got into, or Dynamis. I never got into the like extreme end game. Who knows though? Because this is the more or less the official unofficial server now, in terms, just broadly in terms of population, because Eden still has a very dedicated population, which is where I migrated from. Not literally, figuratively. There's no way to move your stuff from Eden over to here, as far as I'm aware. But let me tell you, man, once they release Blue Mage for Horizon, I am going to crush that up and metaphorically inhale it. And it will become one with my being, as it has before. Welcome back. Alrighty. One more time. I'd recommend taking a snip of that if it helps you remember. Okay, we're gonna change it back to gamer moment music. Change the song. Oh yeah, Undertale's perfect. Going buff inside. May the Lord have mercy. No, may Altana have mercy on your souls. I need to make sure that once I'm in, the very first thing they do is swap out for my expensive shuriken that costs literally 17,000 per stack to make. I'm not malding, you're malding. Alright, change my shuriken, need to remove that. There we go. Buff away. Eraser myself. Eat my expensive food because I lost it when I died. Need to check my Shihai count. I don't think I'm going to use 77 during this fight, but I brought the tool bag, so I'm just going to use it. In an extreme emergency, I do have a Bio Elixir +1, which is hard to find on the auction house because it just sells through so fast. Like, it's the closest thing to an oh shit button that you're going to get, as far as I'm aware. Alrighty, letting mages rest to full. I'm going to swap out damage dealer mode for tank mode, even though it's debatable whether or not. I'll keep it. I'll keep my Berserk button there just in case. And then I'll delete that so I don't accidentally press it.
You're ugly. You are disgusting. I'm going to kill you. Give me $200.
Identify target. You want a piece of me, boy?
Thankfully, this is not the hardcore Iron Man character. Maybe we'll get there one day, where I will subject her to the Promies. It is not today.
A hunter must hunt.
Once Kami, the white mage, is at full, we should be good to go. Even though I should probably stick with Berserk, I'm going to be doing enough damage with my Shuriken that I can afford to lose out a little bit on attack, which is a trait for activating Yonin, which is basically like the tank mode for the... Alrighty. Good luck. All time to die. I'm just gonna throw shurikens at it and keep myself buffed up. Man, it has fast attack speed, dude. What the fuck? Why is it so fast? Look at that, dude. 20 damage. 20 damage every 3 seconds. So stupid. And that's with my attack being lowered and me eating accuracy food, not attack food. Amazing. Kind of disgusting. Okay, I'm gonna eat. No, I'm not gonna eat the X potion yet. It's not worth it. Okay, so I have not been able to watch. It looks like people are using enema. Hopefully I get my shadows off before it has access to its basic attacks again. We're just gonna kick the music into overdrive. This is a good song anyway. Alright, Makima is almost to 1000 TP. Keep throwing shurikens. I can't remember to stop doing that. There we go. It's just so much damage. Great. Okay, I'm gonna play Techie. And now he's going to Frostbite, which should do a lot of damage. Blizzard. Good, good, good. I don't know exactly how much that did, but it seems like it chunked it really hard. Pulling the Offspring. Thereby saving his life. Hey, we're going through it pretty quickly, which is good. Raj, didn't mean to tell that person. They're not here anyway. Alright, I'm gonna get one last. My provoke's not up. Great job, Big. He just used his homunculus to sleep everyone. Extremely good progress. Okay, so both shit's working. Okay, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna throw a shuriken, and I'm gonna use a Tiro on it. Make it run around. Everybody's freaking out a little bit.
Woo! We did it! Woo! Oh, dude, force strength, force spam.
We did it! No more promies for now. I'm gonna schedule some for later so that people can get it. To make sure that everyone's needs are taken care of. But for now, I'm just gonna mash all the nut buttons.
That's fucking teamwork!
Woo!
Oh my god! Inhuman reactions!
All right, chill on the frickin'. It's over. Back to video game lo-fi. Oh my god. not as dopamine inducing as the other two fights, which honestly could have come down to the wire, but still, dude, it's not an easy fight. It takes so much economic mental prep to get through that. I've seen this scene like a million times. I still do not know fully who this dude is. I know aspects of his background that are probably extremely spoilery, so I'm not going to mention them here. But man, it's basically saying Evil Boy is released the darkness. There's that child there that, for reasons unknown, is connected to this nightmare space. My friend there in the robes is like, how is he interacting with the Mother Crystal? Mother Crystal being like a vestige of what's keeping the planet alive, like a physical incarnation of its soul. The boy is saying mysterious shit like, you'll never betray me. The will of the crystal is aligned with the will of the world. That which is broken into 5 parts. What's broken into 5 parts? Presumably that's a statue of Altana, which is the goddess of this world. There will be no salvation. It exists within the soul of every living person. We're all vessels. Let us pray to the goddess, to all the gods. I don't remember why. I think she's evil. maybe not like intentionally evil, but evil adjacent.
Ooh, what could that mean?
Hey, back. I'm dead. Oh man, everybody give it up. Ooh.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
We won. That's how it's going. We did it. Not the hardest, but in terms of like a fight that you have to actually prepare for. Chapter 2, Isle of Forgotten Saints, let's go. Huge congrats on the Promyvion Dem clear. Everyone did an extremely good job. It was clockwork. Thank you so much for the Prime sub, Field Collector. I'm greatly appreciative of that. It do be giving me the tinglies though. I do not like these characters. Holy shit, no faux show. Oh, it rolls off the tongue. Thank you so much for the Prime sub. Woo! Woo! Man, it's activating all my dopamine sensors and everything.
Oh, dude, force strength, force stam, leather belt. Ah, level 18.
I'm gonna hold off on... Actually, no. Why don't we run over there? I don't remember what we need to do here. Let's see. Other crystals. So you can see what I'm seeing. Okay, the next mission is Invitation West. My mysterious amulet's been stolen. I had an amulet. Oh no, that was my favorite one. It was the most mysterious of my collection. Holy shit, Matt, thank you! We did it! We hit the 5-sub goal, baby! Not my wildest anticipations or predictions did I imagine I would get the goal right off. Amazing. Thank you so much. All right, cutscene, proceed west, aggro on site. Thankfully, I have a billion ninja tools, so that being seen is not an issue. Once you zone into the safe hold. Oh shit, that's right. We get 5 slots from this, man.
Not.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
Okay, we got 5 slots. I cannot. That might not sound like a lot, but when you're, I'm going the wrong way. I need to dedicate more of my CPU power to my GPS. Everyone did amazing. That was very smooth. Okay. Where might... There it is. What? I thought I got my tabby. Did I not tabby? Am I stupid? I can't tabby. It seemed like we chunked the boss for like 20% with the SE. Frostbite is very strong. I could have sworn I hit the... Sometimes when you try to suck items out of your Mog house, there's a almost like a global cooldown that stops you from doing it too quickly. It doesn't let you suck fast enough. Don't clip that. And nobody sucks harder than me. I might be able to make it. Hi, Field Collector. I might be able to make it there without being seen. I do still have re-raise on. I don't have my tools to not be seen, but I do have re-raise. What's the worst that could happen, smiley face? I don't know how to do that. I also would sub to Northern Lion. He definitely deserves it. Why is this thing on my screen still? Let me turn the web browser off. I don't know how to initiate a Prime sub refund. You might have to talk to like Mr. Bezos about that. Just slide into his DMs. He should be open to that when he's not forcing other countries to take down their historical landmarks to fit his super yacht through. Map. I don't know if this way goes that way. I live and breathe Northern Lion while I'm working. He's almost like if you boiled down second screen food into a concentration that you could then drink, it would be you would look down upon it and see his logo. Because it's not typically what he's doing isn't that intense, but he is extremely banter rich, which is great when you're trying to zone out and just get through the day. I'm hoping this is an alternative way. I think it is to get in. It looks like it is. I pay for this? Can you play that game that he plays with the animals taking turns fighting? You mean Pokemon? Because that description applies to a lot. Oh, I know what game you mean. You're talking about Azure Dreams. Of course I'll play that. I do have a legally obtained and emulated copy of Pokemon, along with other games like Fire Emblem Hopes, Three Houses, that I enjoyed a lot, that are ready to go and may be like Saturday stream food. I don't even know what you can fish here, but I have a laundry list of games that, as I slowly build up as a streamer, I would like to introduce over the course of the weeks to come. The list is about 30 games long, and they range from more contemporary stuff like Pokemon all the way to Wild Arms Alter Code F, which, as I'm sure you are all aware, is the PS2 remake or re-envisioning of Wild Arms 1. Moment of silence for Field Collector's Headache. I'm going to re-review the time slots people have chosen for review the time slots people picked out from or at the When Is Good link in the Discord. The Discord to plot future events like Promies. If you're interested in doing events like we just did, please go onto the site and please go onto Discord and it should be in announcements. Smile. Semicolon, close parentheses. I thought you perish. This guy thinks we're dead. Imagine. The boy's not with you. Very well, let us set aside our differences. We're being watched by these guys that are very clearly hidden. That is very good drip. Travelers, this is not open to you. We have nothing to offer you. Where do you come? Where are you going? And these little shits, I hate them so much. I don't really feel this way. I don't feel this way towards any other set of characters. I don't like these Tartaru at all.
My potions are too strong for you, traveler.
I don't know what they add to the story. They're saying the amulet's Prish's, what happened to it, we'll wait for her return. Prish being like a notable NPC in the Tabnasian Safehold, which in itself is the remnants of a nation that was destroyed in the Crystal War, as seen in the introduction to Final Fantasy XI. Oh, are there any ways? Right, let's see if after this, what the next step is. Head to the top of the Tabnasian Safehold and pass through the walnut door. I can do that. He's looking to get back to civilization from Tabnasian Safehold. Fishing is a good decompressor. Also the closest thing to free money that this game has, I think. People way overpay for fish. Because possibly due to the fact that it's so much of a pain to get high in fishing ostensibly because they want people to avoid gil selling activities as much as possible, and fishing is a surefire way to get gil very fast. It's part of the reason why they implemented the restriction that, unlike other gathering jobs, you have to be level 15 to start fishing at all. And then the kind of more strict skill up multiplier after that. Walnut door. Is this for sure, right? It was K10. So allegedly the and I believe this, by the way, allegedly the maintainers, developers, admins, whatever your chosen parlance, are constantly looking for botting activity, and they actually put out a APB recently saying that they've noticed an increase in the amount of RMT activity, which is insane just on its face, because this is, let's be real, this is like a 20-year-old game on an effing private server. But apparently people are, people do be liking their RMT if they have huge amounts of disposable income. I personally don't understand it, because I think that, love it or hate it, the thrill of hard earning your stuff is like baked a little bit into the DNA of the game. This guy is basically explaining that 20 years ago, the Beastmen attacked as part of the Crystal War before the Shadow Lord was defeated. We took residence here. This is the last bastion of our people. We destroyed our main land bridge was destroyed. We're trapped here. We have faith that Altana will save us. We struggle to provide for ourselves, but please, make use of our home. Okay, so we successfully talked to you. And all the way down to the basement level. Uggers. So to go way back to your original question, it does happen. The admins, as far as I'm aware and believe, are on top of it. You won't be able to stop all of them, but the fact that they are trying as hard as they are to mitigate it does matter. Apparently, according to them, it's not terribly hard to figure out whether or not someone is botting. And I'll take them at their word, because I know nothing about the process of catching bots. What skill set that requires. The one thing that they catch pretty easily is people having multiple accounts and running them simultaneously. To whom it concerns and who may already be aware, it is a one active account at a time server, unlike Eden, in which case dual boxing was allowed. Dual boxing being when you have another computer with another Final Fantasy XI account up, and you basically controlling both characters at the same time. They're very hard on people that dual box on here, to the point that if you, for example, want your wife to play, or your friend is staying with you and they want to get onto their account temporarily while he's staying with you, if it involves another sentient human being, like accessing a Final Fantasy Horizon account at the same time, you need to complete a exception, like an IP exception. So this remains of the mighty nation of Tabnasia. I'm not even gonna pass. Super pass. You contribute nothing. Like, they have a role in the story, but like, they're just annoying. I thought you were supposed to be guarding the city in Priscia's absence. What if she were to find out you were wandering around outside? And then they run away. On the other side lie the Femina aqueducts, located below the cathedral. It's once a peaceful place. Now it's just a haven for fiends. We were gonna go down there and kill some bad monsters causing a ruckus, but we have to wait. But if you want to go down there for some reason to kill the monster and help us out, we won't stop you. Okay. That's accomplished. Distant beliefs. Oh, this is this one. Oh, I remember this one. That we have to kill the monster in order to prove to the Tabnasian remnants that we're like buddies or whatever. So we can continue on our journey to becoming the chosen one or some shit. This was a pain. It's not the worst, but it's not the best. Final. Great job, everyone. Again, solid job. Everyone on the Promy clear. I know that some people may not have been able to join. So I will be resetting up a Promy, Promies in the next 3 to 4 weeks, probably. I'll try to figure out a way to determine who has not yet got them. If you're probably a Google sheet or something. I don't believe there's anything left for me to do here. Now the next thing in the list, so to speak, is to go kill a monster way deep in the ass of the Famina aqueducts.
Hey! Why have I been summoned?
That is not an emotional journey that I am willing to parse right now. So it is time for us to go home and check to see if our 8 billion pies that we shoved into the auction house to rot have paid and are the dividends that we were hoping. Take care of shady dealings. Shady dealings happening in the background. Phrasing. Should have heard this thing I said before. Something about the Mog House not letting me suck things out of it fast enough. Yeah. Yeah, man. That's all I'm saying.
Ooh woo. Ooh woo.
Meow.
Var X3. What's this? A woo?
I need to figure out what this barrel of Memisphere is for. I don't remember what it is offhand. Probably because I never went out of my way to try to kill an empty NM, which is what that satiator thing was. That's totally accidental. I'm glad that we actually cleared it without anyone dying, because that easily could have been bad. I'm gonna need to take a minute because there was a lot that there's a lot to unpack there. I will make an attempt. I cannot guarantee you that I'm going to arrive at an answer or series of answers that properly satisfies your question. Just don't understand how you can rationalize an anti-RMT stance. Recognizes the futility of material possessions. Because of the way that, because it doesn't matter. It's the thing. The answer is kind of like baked into your question. if you go out of your way to acquire tools to circumvent rules that the people that are administrating the server have put in place, you are expending precious time and effort on something that ultimately is not going to net you anything. You're basically disaffecting the admins that are providing the service to you for short-term gains. You're helping yourself. If this was a single player game, I would be like, I don't care, hack it however you want. You know, it's your piece of media to do with what you will. Game publishers don't believe that, but that's what it boils down to, is that it's your product. And I won't get into like what licensing, how licensing plays into all that and stuff like that. If it's a single player game, it doesn't matter. If it's a multiplayer game where the economy is part of the array of objectives interweaving and interconnecting the whole thing, if you are trying to subjugate that for your own personal benefit, you are affecting other people. And as a rational and social animal, it's against your nature as a human being, even in the sense that it's a video game, which I'm recognizing as this whole spiel is coming out of my mouth. You still have a base minimum responsibility to not affect others' experience if you can help it, which in this case you definitely can. Just don't hack. Yeah, I can't speak to the circumstances. It's a tricky thing because it's like when you agree to a certain set of rules that are put in place, as long as those rules are not unreasonable and they're not prompting you to do anything that would cause you to be problematic for other people, in which case you just defy them, and then that basically equates to you just not playing. It just kind of goes back to that single player versus multiplayer. The admins have a specific view of how they want the project that they are running to run. And we all signed the waiver going into it that we're supposed to try to act a certain way. Yeah, as far as like, if we boil it down to its basic parts, it is correct that Square Enix can cease and desist this into oblivion literally anytime. It's honestly a miracle that they haven't, considering that the population was almost 5,000 strong in the first few weeks. I am surprised that it hasn't happened sooner. On Eden, there was a legitimate scare that someone had sent a cease and desist, and they actually took down the server for a week or two. My guess is that they reasonably thought to themselves that there is a remote chance that by people experiencing Final Fantasy XI in whatever sense that a private server provides, that it increases the chances above zero that they will go visit retail. Now, whether or not those same people would have ever visited retail to begin with, I don't know. But that they're also not losing money by people going on the private server. In the sense that the people that voluntarily go onto the private server, to the exception of retail, wouldn't have gone to retail anyway. Like, you're not losing out on nothing. That's probably those two headspaces are probably the only reasons why this private server is still alive. All right, time for me to get naked. Don't clip that. That unequips all my gear so I can store it later. We got wardrobe slots, dude. That's right. Wait, what? Maybe I need to log or something. Did everyone get their 5 wardrobe slots? I am still 20 out of 20. Maybe I need to relog. Yeah, let's take your time. Wutsamog wardrobe. Wardrobe is refreshing. Ooh, 5 slots. So they definitely got their 5 slots. So it might be a bug that I can't see the difference. Odd. Relogging should fix. Then I won't worry. Okay, so we're gonna store all of our stuff in preparation of needing to make more food to sell. Once I get, so the whole reason I'm tryharding Ninja at the moment is to get it to 60. Once it's at 60, I'm going to do Limit Break 2, which is going to unlock slots and is something I'm going to need to do eventually. It unlocks like the level cap to go from 60 to 65. But because I'm a cook and there's a ninja item at level 57 that it gives you +3 cooking. That's the whole reason I'm bothering with this. I'm just tryharding it for the experience of doing it. Yeah, absolutely. There are people out there that, Hero, to your point, that to show that there is support for Final Fantasy XI. I know quite a few people that sub to Final Fantasy XI to show that there is still a demand, and they know the demand is there. Like, they can't not know that 5,000 people tried to cram into this private server all at once for upwards of 2 weeks. But also because they had that weird, I forget who was supposed to be handling it, like the mobile developer that was supposed to take a crack at like the soft remake of Final Fantasy XI for mobile. And then due to some kind of like design philosophy disagreement, absolutely. So there's definitely a glutton for punishment mentality to restarting Final Fantasy XI. I've done it now, including the jump to Horizon 3 times. I swore to my nephew who plays with me and who ultimately goaded me back into it, along with, you know, devouring all of Hunting for Games content. I had told him straight up, I was like, I'm not doing it again. I'm not getting my sub job again. I'm not getting my chocobo again. I'm not gonna get airship pass again. I'm not gonna recollect all the OPs. But guess who has almost 68 slots worth of ninja equipment? Like, who's laughing now? No, I'm not gonna go back to drugs. Proceeds to go back into all the drugs. While I'm here and while I'm remembering to do it, I'm going to search what this is for. Barrel memo sphere. Because if it has no meaning to me, I'm gonna toss it. Oh, it's for the map. Why? No.
Bingo!
Oh, baby, a triple! Oh,
5 points!
Oh, thank you. If it's not taking up any space for you, you can hold on to it, but honestly, I would just sell it. It's not worth very much because Tarot Anima is severely underappreciated. People definitely do underrate the ability to buy yourself 30 seconds of breathing room when in the boss fight, especially for Mia and Hala, which are just vicious fights compared to that one. That was, so the very first Promy that we did, the tank was a pickup, like a random, and I guess he didn't do any research beforehand. My guy is on the fourth, like the third level of the Promy, like 2 steps before the boss fight, and slams down the biggest Tabnasian taco that you've seen. And within 15 seconds of, you know, fuck it, we're going live with the boss drains the buff from him. That boss and like endgame paladins are the only ones that have ever seen full unambiguous use of the Tabnasian taco. The fight was like 3 times. We still cleared it, which is borderline psychotic. But man, holy crap, guys. This has been a very successful stream. Never in my wildest imaginings did I believe that we would hit our sub goal, but almost immediately. It's thanks to your mercy and kindness that that is the case. Oh yeah. Yeah, Treasures of Aurgon hero is my bread and butter. Bastok will always hold a special place in my heart as my favorite barren wasteland of industry, but the like Aurgon, its aesthetic of all of its areas, every single one, even the most punishing ones, the way that all the beastmen are designed, the way that the jobs are designed, the way that the story is presented, everything about it I love. I am a bona fide blue mage. My blood is blue. Like if I know it's like 720p 60 frames per second regardless, but I have, let's see, so I honestly I could have used the Ashita cast, but I think it would have taken me longer to do the Ashita cast than it would have been for me to do it this way, and this way was just mindless and entertaining for me to do it. Look at all this blue shit that I piggybacked from Eden. Every single level I used the blue sets add-on to have custom blue set or blue spell lists according to what the situation was, like tanking, or I have never treated any other job like this. The closest thing is Paladin, but you don't see me reserving almost like 40 equipment slots just for Paladin. Like all this shit is tailored to, I'm gonna avoid becoming that guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia that's like trying to connect the dots and like the wall map that he's creating. But every single blue mage spell has its own modifiers, which coupled with whether or not they are magic or physical and what element they're associated with affects how much damage you're doing. And not only that, but the monster family matters as well. The game actually incorporates the use of the monster family if it's stronger than the type that you're using. If it's like an attack, say from like a lizard or something, and I think that lizards are like stronger than like insects or something. We need the real voice for 5 minutes. Please hold while I deprogram my human voice.
There we go. This explanation should sound really good for 5 minutes. So, you take the monster family, and the game actually susses out whether or not the move is from a monster family that's stronger than whatever your target is, or vice versa. Which is like a whole, if you're using a monster family's spell, that is also a element that the mob is weak to, because it could be different. You can't forget that. then you're netting yourself like an extra 15 to 20% damage. Couple that with the fact that if you wear the headpiece, the blue headpiece, which you better fucking believe I'm gonna ride that shit to the ground, you're talking about like a 17 to 22% damage increase just for knowing more about the game. Blue Mage is so weird that nobody knows what to do with them. And I'm praying to God that the Horizon staff is smart enough, and I believe that they are, I think the chances are good, that they are going to change or completely do away with the Colibri TP move that gives them reflect, essentially. Not actual reflect, but you know what I mean. Like, they don't literally reflect your spell, they just cast it back at you, which it might be a stipulation that matters to some people. But I hope that they do that, because even though they've given experience bonuses to people that stick with the vanilla areas over 50, it's still in people's like muscle memory to go to Aragon at the first available opportunity and kill birds. They live for that shit. They're like, whoops, I'm 50, time to kill birds. It's their people's natural end state. It's their evolutionary roadmap that gets them to kill as many birds as possible. Are you saying what? Because you're confused, or because you can't understand me? I think 5 minutes is over.
There we go. I like that voice. All right, I'm going to call it here. Thank you guys for, I can't even like understate how much I appreciate your support. And the next stream is going to be 7 p.m. on Wednesday. This Wednesday, we're going to be playing Foxhole, which is a alternate reality World War II massively multiplayer online war simulator. Yeah, Eastern. Yep. And that should be a lot of fun. It's likely that we're going to be doing something with tanks, so a lot of shit is going to get blown up, which everybody loves. Everybody loves their quick and easy dopamine. Have a great day, and know that I appreciate you. Bye-bye.